very much indeed for that. Now, I'm thrilled to be joined in the box with me now, the pianist Stephen Hough. Stephen, very warm welcome to you.
Thanks,
and
Charles.
Huge congratulations on what was an absolutely amazing performance.
Thanks. It's an overwhelming piece to play because it's so big in every sense, you know, not just the length and the sort of pianistic side, but it's a big human piece, I think, a big human uttering.
Yes, I mean, it's so much more than just technique, isn't it?
Oh,
technically, I mean,
yeah.
You had to get inside a huge, great line, which doesn't stop from start to finish.
I mean, I feel this piece at Brahms, it's the genius of the young Brahms just pouring out. I mean, he could not help but write this piece. So even though it had a bit of a rocky start with a number of different versions, I think you feel that the inspiration from the very beginning is just there. And for me, as a humble performer, in a sense, to enter into that world of Brahms is an absolutely extraordinary and overwhelming experience, really.
And pianistically, how much sense do you get of Brahms' own abilities as a pianist?
Oh, it's pure Brahms. I mean, you see very much how his hand must have looked at the piano. There is a very famous painting, actually, of Brahms in old age, like this. And I'm pretty sure it's that moment at the end of the cadenza of the second movement. It could be that or one of the late pieces, we're not quite sure, but yeah, it has the fingerprints of the composer all over it.
Let me just share with you an email from Donald Knox Richards in Liverpool. He says, the long introduction in the Brahms that you've just played is similar to that of Beethoven's violin concerto. It seems an age before you actually start to play the concerto proper. Do you feel a bit of a prat sitting there waiting for your entrance, or does it have no effect on you whatsoever?
But it has an enormous effect, but a good one. And especially when played like this orchestra played tonight, I found it a tremendously inspiring thing. I'm sitting there surrounded by great musicians playing this music, and if I wasn't in the mood when I walked onto the stage, my goodness, by the time I come in, I'm filled with Brahms. So I'm quite grateful for that, for such an inspiring introduction.
It's very clear to me that there's something very Hungarian about this music. I'm sure, I don't know if you agree with that, but therefore it must be, to my mind, very exciting playing it with this particular orchestra.
Yes, it did go through my mind when the date was first suggested. I'm not sure, generally I don't believe in the kind of national identity music. I don't think that British people play Elgar better or Rachmaninoff is played better by Russians or any of that. I think that music is an international language, and I think anyone can enter into the spirit of that. But maybe there's just a slight whiff of goulash in the last movement.
Yeah, it's something about the weight that the orchestra brings to it, the quality of string playing. It's sort of edgy, but with depth.
Yeah.
Stephen, I got an email here from someone just called Paul. He says, how do you remember such an enormous piano concerto? Can you help me out with some techniques for doing it?
I don't understand about memory, really. If I did and I started looking into it, perhaps I wouldn't be able to do it anymore. It's one of those mysterious things. It's like, how do we actually remember the way from the Albert Hall home? If you had to draw directions, it might be difficult, but you just go. And I think that there's so much time spent in learning a piece like this and thinking about it, that you hope by the time it's in your fingers and in your brain and in your heart that it's also memorized. Not always, but usually.